Hello, and welcome to Film with Family. I'm Austin.
And I'm Zach.
We are two cousins who like to talk about movies. This week, we're talking about a very special film to us. Again, we're talking about The Whale.
Yes, we knew that this episode had to happen. No. It's a whole new vibe. I can't handle it.
Hey, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. We decided we're going to make this special. We're going to post on a Tuesday instead of the Wednesday because we want to have you have a special 4th of July with Film with Family.
Yeah, so you can, crank this up at your barbecue, play it to your family. I think it'll go over really well. But yeah, we're taking a bit of a week off this week. Summertime's happening.
Austin, I think you're going somewhere.
I'm going to Alaska, and I am literally going whale watching. Literally.
Wow. Wow, you're like combining two Film with Family movies, Into the Wild and The Whale, the one vacation.
Yeah, but we crossed our 20 episode mark. Zach, congratulations on that.
Wow, it's flying by.
I know, and we've kept up with it every goddamn week.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
We've had some great guests. We had some great family,
great movies, great takes, hot takes.
I agree. But, we feel like we did The Whale dirty by pairing it with Knock at the Cabin in our second episode. And so we thought it might be a good idea to re-release The Whale.
Yeah. So you can get an unvarnished look at our first conversation with family. And we should say that The Whale is very special to this podcast because it was our fascination with this movie and the fact that we could not stop talking about it that made us think, maybe we should talk about The Whale in a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're re-releasing The Whale in honor of that.
Yeah. Yeah, the original plan for episode 1 was we would do The Whale and we would talk about the Oscars for like 10 minutes before that. But then we ended up talking about the Oscar nominations for like an hour and a half. And then we're like, well, I guess this is our new first episode.
Yeah. And we still hadn't talked to Drew. And then by the time the day that we were supposed to talk to Drew, we were like, oh, we both saw Knock at the Cabin. Why don't we talk about that too? And then again, we talked about it for like 45 minutes and completely buried The Whale.
We buried The Whale.
And we put it deep, deep down under sea. And so now we're hoisting it back out, the mighty whale.
Yeah.
For your listening enjoyment.
I'm wondering, Austin, has your opinion of this movie changed at all since we recorded that episode?
Well, I've definitely made my feelings well known. I think, there were some mixed feelings about our very humorous take on The Whale. I mean, I think it is no surprise to anybody, no spoiler here, that we don't take this movie very seriously. However, people do.
Yeah, some people cry at this movie, and it's a very serious thing for them. So we want to be respectful to those people.
Yeah.
But we also want to express ourselves.
Yes, exactly. I talked to somebody a couple weeks ago about it, and they kind of opened up with being like, I didn't like it. It felt too theatrical to me. Like, I just thought the writing was really bad. And I was like, yeah, and those binge eating scenes, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it was such gross out humor to me. It would just seem so over exaggerated. Yeah. And her response was, well, Austin, he's trying to kill himself. So, yeah, I mean, it's a real problem. It's like, I understand. I get it. I get that this is a real problem, but I feel like the depiction is in itself insensitive. Anyways, we'll get into it.
The subject matter, I don't it, I don't even know how to talk about this movie, but we did talk about it before.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to talk about it again because that's why we're re-releasing The Whale. We can talk about bonus features that we watched. I bought The Whale on DVD, and
Yeah.
when you were over
How
here
much
in
was the
Chicago,
DVD?
$10. It was 50% off.
Solid deal. It's already
Yeah.
50% off.
Yeah. Couldn't resist. Had it shipped to my door post haste, 2-day deal. But yeah, so when you came and visited for a little weekend with your dad, I had it. And so I was like, you want to watch these bonus features? We got two little short docs that we can dig into right here.
Little featurettes. What are
Yeah.
the names of the featurettes?
People Are Amazing, Making the Whale,
Hmm.
and The Sounds of the Sea, Scoring the Whale.
Sounds of the Sea.
And
Yeah, I
we
gotta say, if I had to rank the two, I'd say Sounds of the Sea was better than
definitely.
People Are Amazing.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
Which I
Um,
wasn't expecting, honestly. I thought, okay, they're just gonna talk about the score of the whale. How's this gonna be interesting?
People Are Amazing is your standard behind the scenes documentary, except it's about a movie that is not very exciting. So there's like all they're really saying is how everything was constrained and they have to work into these boundaries and
Yeah, being in one apartment and like they do like
yeah.
one like little like camera move across the apartment is like Darren Aronofsky's insane for trying to do this.
Yeah.
It's just like a little camera move in an
Yeah.
apartment. Doesn't seem that crazy.
Yeah, it's like this took us 10 years to make. That was the big like what?
Oh, I
They've been
forgot this.
writing yeah. The writer was saying how yeah, like Darren Aronofsky approached him about this movie 10 years ago and they've been in talks and writing the script for 10 years.
Yeah, this was after it was already a play that was successful.
That's
And then
absurd.
it takes a 10
That
extra
long.
years on top of that.
So we were really hoping to get some good shots, like behind the scenes shots, but it was pretty slim pickings there. It was mainly just showing clips from the movie and talking heads of the actors and crew.
Yeah, just explaining the characters and their motivations, like not even really talking about like how they made the movie very much.
Yeah.
And they had like very little background footage or behind the scenes footage. One of the ones we
Yeah.
really liked was Hog Chow like practicing passing a meatball sub to Brendan Fraser, and he could like see her like trying it hand like the handoff a couple different times.
Yeah, it was like she was motioning towards him with like the sandwich in his hand and like Brendan like extending his hand and then being like, so we do it like that. And Darren's like, yeah, 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 a little slower. And he's like this. Um, hard
Yeah,
to
finding the most nuanced, sensitive way to present the passing of a meatball sub to the whale is super funny.
yeah. And then yeah, there were other, just kind of gesturing thing because I mean it's like most of the movie they're like sitting on a couch or just like sitting down, not doing too much. So it would be like, oh, so then I turn to you like this. Like there's
Yeah,
no action whatsoever. So I guess it makes sense that there isn't a lot of it.
yeah, some shots of Brendan Fraser trying some goofy faces on.
It was, 15 minutes, another waste of time because of this movie.
Yeah, but yeah, the sounds of the sea ended up being a pleasant surprise, just because the flutes they used for this movie are out of control.
The soundtrack, which you can buy online on vinyl for $30, was made by Rob Simonson, and he talks very in depth about how he wanted the music to mimic the nautical themes of the movie. And so it's a lot of like ups and downs, like the waves,
Whale songs.
whale songs, and also um, Charlie's breathing and how he's like wheezing through the movie. But the star of the show was the overtone flute, played by Winnie Clement.
Yeah, not only the overtone flute though, but Darren Aronofsky, or like there's the talking head with the composer talking about how Darren asked him like, can you make the largest flute known to man or something?
No, so what he says is, he heard, so Rob Simonson heard this guy playing the overtone flute, and he was like, oh, this is the perfect like background texture whale sound. And so he asked this guy, Winnie Clement, to build his biggest flute, which was 21 feet long. And it looks like a giant didgeridoo. So all those like really deep tones in the soundtrack, which we'll cue right here, those are made from Winnie Clement's biggest creation. And we were rolling on the floor laughing because Rob Simonson, he's like, I really love it. It reminded me of like a musical blowhole.
Yeah, I was just laughing at just like the shot reveal of this flute. It's just like a really like low angle, like big wide angle shot,
and there's
it just
two
like
of
looks
them.
a mess. Yeah, there's two huge flutes, and it looks so ridiculous. We'll have to post a picture of that screenshot because it's hilarious.
It's like basically like a really, I don't know. They say it's a combination of a flute and a didgeridoo, and that is what it sounds like. But we were like going in our head about how like it must have cost this guy like hundreds of thousands of dollars to make this two gigantic flutes, and then like Darren hadn't fully signed off to it yet, but Rob's like, look, Darren, we spent way too much on these giant flutes. We have to use them.
Yeah. It's just like that kind of like dumb brain logic of like, oh, this movie about a big guy. We need the biggest flute ever made. That that's what they did, and they talk about it very seriously with no hint of irony or anything. And it's very funny.
The musical blowhole.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those are like the main things from the bonus features. Were there anything else? I feel like that was the main takeaway.
No, it's standard DVD menu. With that song that we opened up with.
No audio commentary, unfortunately.
No commentary. That was a bummer. Oh, yeah. That's something that we can splice in here. In a recent episode, we talked to my stepdad about his meeting Brendan Fraser. Let's play a little bit of that. This is going to be kind of a clip show. This is kind of like our 20 episode clip show.
I heard you got to meet Brendan Fraser recently.
Well, I met Brendan. That was in Raleigh, wasn't it, Austin?
Yeah, he was seated right next to you.
And again, super nice guy. And then lately, the one I just came back from in Nashville, got to meet and hang with Chuck Norris.
That's so cool. Yeah. Want to double back a little bit on your Brendan Fraser encounter, because as I've been going, because they're very strict about not shooting in the green room with all of the talent. So we couldn't really have our cameras on in any of those situations where you were meeting all of these famous folks that were at the conventions. But we were in we have you mic'd up like 24/7. So you're on a hot mic, throughout the whole day. And so we were in another room interviewing a guy who like kind of just sets up your autograph tent and all of that stuff, and just asking him about like kind of the logistics of that. And as we were going through it, I hear in my other ear, like, hey, Brendan, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And if you don't mind, can I play that audio?
Yeah, I don't think there's much, but sure. Yeah,
I just want people to hear you meeting the whale himself, Brendan Fraser.
That's right. The mummy.
Yeah, we got just a little piece of it on a hot mic, so I'll play that.
Brendan, I'm Steve Downs. I'm right next to you today. So I just wanted to say hello and a big fan of your work and everything.
Nice.
Hope things are going well.
All good.
Good.
Did you come from California?
No, I'm in. Where am I now? Chicago. Exactly.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were in Chicago. We bought a place in Sarasota, like all old people do, and then.
But yeah, we've talked about the whale multiple times in several episodes at this point. Jasmine even told us that we're talking too much about it. I say we're not talking enough about it.
We'll play the clip of us teasing this episode here. Jasmine's reaction.
With their talking shirts.
Yeah.
He has the
Very
shirt
cute.
that says "I have gas." John Cena's "I have gas" shirt, and then the boy has a shirt that says "Protect the oceans."
Yeah, I like the "I have gas" shirt. Had like a cool gas pump. I don't know. Had a good look to it.
I could see you wearing that, Zach.
Yeah, I kind of
totally.
wanted that shirt. The "I have gas."
I'll get the "Protect the Oceans" shirt. But it's so funny that they
I
have
bet
like
Photoshop Brendan Fraser over the whale.
Oh my God. No.
No.
You guys need to stop talking about the whale. Yeah. We can't do this.
We can't.
But yeah.
Stay tuned for re-releasing the whale.
Coming July 4th.
So
That's not a joke. We're actually going to do that.
no, you're not.
We are.
Anyway. So
We also talked about it during our Oscar recap episode after
Cocaine
Brendan,
Academy.
in Cocaine Academy, we talked about Brendan's big win. Won the Oscar for Best Actor.
And his amazing speech.
Let's hear that.
Let's hear that.
Makeup and hairstyling. Whale. Goes to whale.
Yeah. I predicted Wakanda Forever for this, but I gave it to the whale. And this was funny because like they had like on the screen while they're accepting the award, like Brendan Fraser's like naked fat body from the whale, and it just like looks so funny, just like in the background.
It looked like he's like hulking towards them in the background, like he's like, "I'm coming for you. The whale's coming for you." And it just looked so bad. Oh my God. And I guess we might as well just say it too. Brendan Fraser winning Best Actor. I mean, even though it was basically a toss-up between him and Austin Butler, I just did not see him winning. But he did.
He did.
He fucking won.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed with his speech. A lot of nautical kind of references in there that are kind of lame.
So this is what the multiverse looks like. I'm grateful to Darren Aronofsky for throwing me a creative lifeline and hauling me aboard the good ship, the Whale, that was written by Samuel D. Hunter, who is our lighthouse. You laid your whale-sized hearts bare. Only whales can swim at the depth of the talent of Hong Chow. My cast, it's been like I've been on a diving expedition on the bottom of the ocean.
He blew it.
Thanks for bringing me aboard the good ship Whale. Holy shit. Oh, this is what the multiverse looks like.
That was very confusing. Like, what are you talking about? I know that's some everything everywhere all at once reference, but it doesn't make any sense in this context.
I laughed so hard when you won. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it that he won an award. That the whale won any award is incredible. Like now people are gonna see this movie and realize what a piece of shit it is. Even though, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people and they're like, I actually really liked it. I thought it was really funny, or not really funny. I thought
it was really funny. That's our reaction to it.
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, we're the assholes that hate the whale.
I can't get over the whale.
Yeah, so someone tweet like The whale has more Oscars than Stanley Kubrick now, or something like
Oh my
that.
God.
This Kubrick never got an
Jesus.
Oscar.
How about all these stories about whales like attacking boats? Have you seen this?
Oh, I just saw a TikTok about this. Orcas kind of like destroying boats.
Yeah, like ripping off their rudders.
Yeah, yeah. The guy was saying like there's like a one whale that's really like teaching the other whales how to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're a gang. They're a vicious gang. They call them killer whales for a reason. And I saw some clip of a kayak. I don't know if I mean, everything could be AI now, but I don't know if this is real, but it was like a bunch of kayakers in the ocean, and like just a blue whale just comes up and just like full on eats this whole kayak with two people on them. And apparently they got out unscathed, but the video looks pretty convincing.
that's wild. I didn't see that.
So speaking of orcas, my dad sent me a birthday card the other day, the orca whale on it. And it
Jumping
reads
from the water.
like this. Dear Austin, a whale of a year, right? A whale wins an Oscar. A whale runs for president. A whale out my back door. Whales, whales, whales. The year of the whale. So have a whale of a birthday. Thinking of you and always.
That's really good job, Glenn.
It made me laugh a lot. He gets me.
He understood the assignment. He did very well.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Well,
without further ado, because this is what we did last time, just bury the whale. So let's not bury the whale too deep in this pod.
Yeah.
Enjoy, if you haven't already, the whale. We are here with our first guest of all time, and our guest today is Drew. And Drew, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people how you know me and how you know Zach.
Hi, my name's Drew. I'm Austin's brother, and I'm Zach's cousin. We are family. I myself am a big movie lover, but not as big a movie lover as these fellas. So they asked me to watch The Whale, and I did reluctantly over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks.
You watched the movie over the course of 3
Watched,
weeks?
no, I was pressured to watch the movie over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, but then I also did watch it incrementally over the course of 2.
Like a couple days, the last couple days, you've been just kind of
Just
eating little bites of it.
Couple
taking
minutes.
little nibbles.
Well, it's good to have you, Drew.
Thank you for having me.
And are you the older brother or the younger brother?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what are you? Yeah.
Let's get into that. Well, my father used to tell me that I was the younger brother, and he still does by 5 years.
Yeah.
So younger by 5 years, and yeah, I'm a good little brother. I'm annoying.
No, you're good.
No, but that's what a little brother is supposed to do.
But you are older than me. You're the older cousin.
I am the older cousin than you. I should get into that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Otherwise,
audience needs
we'll
to
be-
know.
we will be lost. Which should primarily be mostly our family members. So this is news to them. Yeah, real.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the only people who's going to be listening to this are our family.
Did you know that Zach is younger than Drew? Yeah.
You
Said
wouldn't
my
guess
mom
it.
to your mom.
So, Drew, you're right. We did task you with watching The Whale because I watched it alone here in Rogers Park, Chicago, where you also live. I encouraged you to come with me, but you refused.
Yeah.
With good reason, I think.
Well, I was gonna save that one, but
You just did it.
Well,
whales out of the bag.
So why were you apprehensive to go see The Whale? What
Well,
about
because
it?
I always want to see stupid Marvel movies with Austin. He never wants to go. I'm going to see some fat man jerk off in front of 1,000 people and laugh my ass off. I'm going to be ostracized from the whole world because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly,
exactly going to happen right now.
yeah, honestly, when I saw it, I was suppressing a lot of laughter, and mainly because I was thinking about if I would have taken you.
You know, it would be fucking
Yeah.
over. God.
Yeah.
But,
How was your crowd, Austin? Was it packed crowd for The Whale?
No, it was just like 5 other sporadic lone men. Just a movie for lonely men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Meatball
was.
subs in hand.
Yeah. Were they all fat or?
No, no, I think nobody was in shape. I'll put it that way, including myself.
Yeah, I don't go see The Whale if you're really fat. It's like, I remember when I was wearing like a dumb fedora and I saw Mark Maron and he was telling a bunch of hat jokes. I felt like such a piece of shit.
Did you notice that so the pizza shop
Gambino's?
Gambino's, they have a little fedora hat on the, if you look at the car when it's pulling out and he like sees the delivery guy driving away and it has the Gambino sign, the O and the Gambinos has a little fedora on.
Yeah, that's the delivery guy that keeps walking up asking the Gambino man with the heart of gold.
He doesn't have a heart of gold though. We'll get to that. Let's go.
I meant cholesterol. I meant the golden
Oh, yeah,
cholesterol.
he has literally
He's a golden
it's
cholesterol.
literally a not dying heart. Drew, I want to back up just slightly because you and I,
Beep.
yeah, that is part in the movie.
That's the
Oh my
cheapest
God.
fat joke there is.
It's a fat person chair. Sit down. Beep, beep, beep.
Beep, beep, beep. I'm fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser doesn't like that joke either. He's in on some of the fat jokes, but when she does that, he gives her the nastiest looks. Like
Yeah, he's like,
that
"Fuck
was
that."
low.
Yeah, I mean, it's again the cheapest joke you could possibly make against a fat person. But if we're gonna back it up, Austin, please use the beep.
Okay. Anytime I reverse course, I'll
Yeah.
use the beep, beep, beep.
Beep, beep,
So
beep.
if
Um,
you could,
Drew, I want to beep, 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 back it up just a little bit to talk about your history with Brendan Fraser movies.
yeah. So growing up, I lived on 2 sides of the tracks. I lived in Des Plaines, Illinois, where my dad did not have cable. We had 3 channels: WCIU, UPN, and Fox. But I did have a TV with a VHS player in it that, I had whatever garage sale items were available, which were mostly The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, Bedazzled. I didn't have Monkey Bone, but damn it, did I want it. Only because that was the best Brendan Fraser movie you could get, and I just had all the ones that were not as good.
Yeah.
But I watched them, and because it's like if I was at my dad's place for the weekend, our father Austin, who you may
Yes. Yeah.
know, I would just be stuck with The Mummy and Bedazzled and The Mummy Returns. You want to hear my favorite line from The Mummy Returns?
Yes.
No, I hate mummies.
That's a Brendan line.
That is no, it's a Brendan line.
It is. Brendan says that.
Actually, the mummy says.
The mummy says, "I hate mummies."
Yeah, he says.
He looks
commend
right at the
no.
camera and says, "I hate mummies." and then he
Exactly.
ends.
The mummy looks at the camera and he goes, "Who would want to be with a person like me?"
Like,
Mummies are beautiful.
They're amazing.
Mummies are amazing.
Oh my
Wow.
god! But so do you like those movies? Do you like The Mummy, The Mummy Returns? Do you like Bedazzled?
no, I know. I know I love those movies, but they're awful.
But so Brendan Fraser holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah, Wednesdays and every other weekend as a middle schooler on up was that was a special place in my heart because that's what I had.
That's the only movies you had were
were like these,
Fraser related.
yeah, and Brendan Fraser's always just kind of like a funny actor to me, and just kind of like a goofy acting. Like when you hear about how he fell off, you didn't really know why. You just thought he was like, here's an actor from this, era of just like whoever else.
Yeah. He's
Now-
just like one of the big actors from the '90s.
And then just kind of no more movies anymore. It's just like,
And then he
I
just
know what happened.
Oh, he's gone now. Well, so then was that part of the reason that you were a little reluctant to see this movie, that it would shatter your childhood image?
Absolutely not. I just I just knew I would die laughing because I knew this movie was insane. And every part of me was like, only because how much people were like revving it up and like blowing it up. I'm like, this movie's gonna fucking shit. And I had no instinct of knowing that, other than the fact that he's like, this is gonna be amazing. I'm like, oh no.
It's
And like, what is it?
amazing.
It's a movie about Brendan Fraser in a single room being like fat. And it's like his big comeback is like a big fat guy. And it's like, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like that's fine. I mean, it's like, he wants to take roles, whatever. That sounds interesting and indie and cool. Like, we don't need another action movie. Fine. But God, I just knew. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And there are some moments I kind of dip back into it and stuff. There's some moments that I think are done well and right. Yeah. Like him, the congenital, when he's looking up congenital heart failure, and like wrestling with like doing good or not, when he's just like throwing the candy bars in and out of the drawer and wrestling with whether or not he's going to call the ambulance and get him over there. Like there's like moments where it's like, oh, like that might be somewhere to go, and then they don't do that at all.
That was like some decent like showing without telling. Like we're just like seeing him. Like, he opens the drawer. There's a healthy snack and some tape, and he's like, no. And he's got a nice candy drawer with all the good shit, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get one of these bad boys. But then he opens it, then he feels bad, then he Googles, the heart failure.
And then he jumps back in and he wolfs down 2 Three Musketeers.
No. One and a half stops and then throws the bag back in the drawer. Yeah. And they're like, that's like kind of, like the wrestling with like bad decision making and like the weird like vicious cycle of it, and just like I gotta do this thing, I can't do this thing, I gotta do this thing, I can't do this thing. And like that was like, that's what that is. And it was that was told well.
Yeah. So let's just say really quick, for the uninitiated, The Whale was 2022 film directed by Darren Aronofsky. The sentence, like the byline here, is: a reclusive English teacher suffering from severe obesity attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter for one last chance at redemption. And so, man, I don't even know where to start on this thing. Do we just start at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, the first shot of the movie is already thrown away, or it's just like, it's the missionary guy getting off at the bus.
Yeah, right.
Which is like
weird,
very pointless.
Yeah.
Cut that out. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a horrible way to start your movie.
Well, yeah.
It really evocative of like Exorcist, right? Where it's like some guy getting off, like it was like,
yes,
the call that it comes, like, the force that changes things. The
guy who's coming to heal the situation,
stir the pot or something.
But he actually sucks. He's my least favorite character in the movie. I wish he wasn't in it at all.
Which, by the way, I mean, like, for just a fucking movie to be such a play and be so like, everything is the worst possible, cheesiest thing you do in a play. Like, everybody has like a pre-baked monologue that's all just itching to get out, and like it's just like something that's like pre-cooked, congealed about each character. It's just gonna, you don't want to know why I'm really here,
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the things.
I agree.
It's all very showy performances in different ways.
The
characters don't really feel very three-dimensional. They feel just like very surface level characters that don't feel real at all.
Crazy.
I mean, there's only 7 characters in this whole movie, so we can.
7. That sounds like more than there is, really.
Well, there's Charlie, who's Brendan Fraser. I always want to say Fraser. I'm sorry, I might say it a couple times. Just yeah,
Hey,
it's Fraser. I
you
know
know
it's, we all know it's Fraser, but I'm gonna say Fraser every once in a while.
Toss those salad and scrambled eggs, baby.
I thought it was Frasier.
No, it's
thought it was too.
Fraser.
That's dumb.
Fuck that.
I'm not saying that.
It's like Ellie, where she's like, "I got a better title."
Yeah.
Like,
it's actually
leaves on
Lizzie.
grass.
It's Lizzie now. Shut up.
Songs on myself, and I don't care. And drops a hard F on Walt Whitman. Jeez.
Yeah, that was pretty rude considering that she knows her dad is gay,
Yeah.
but he doesn't react to that at all.
No.
He doesn't react to any of it.
He's like,
He
that's
reacts-
actually that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
He just justifies every possible action she could do almost immediately. It's so unhealthy. And he goes, you know what? The way to fix this so I can do one thing right is to give you $120,000 fucking dollars.
And it's like,
Like, the best thing I could do is die and give you all this money.
I can't parent like this. You should just have $120,000.
yeah.
And the thing is that he acts like it's like you don't really get any context to what the relationship was before. All you know is there's this really nice guy who's
Uh-huh.
dying of obesity, and his
Uh-huh.
daughter is the meanest person in the world.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's worst.
And it's like,
But so is Liz, and so is the mom. Like all of the female characters in this movie are so unbelievably abusive to Charlie.
yeah,
Like it's no wonder that he has mental problems. Like these people are like
facilitating.
psychologically abusing him. Like Liz, I think in the first 5 minutes is like, I'm gonna stab you in the stomach.
Oh yeah, the big joke.
Like,
What's he gonna do, man? Turn the 2 feet in.
yeah, and then she tickles him, and he's like,
The most insane laugh in the world.
Yeah.
All the choices are just so bizarre.
oh,
One second he loves fat jokes, next second he hates fat
Yep.
jokes.
There's no like moral lesson there. There's no like, it's like, hey, sometimes people are angry, sometimes it's sad. It doesn't make any sense. Like you can't tell fat jokes, but also you can't tell bad jokes.
But yeah, that's the thing. There's like, I can't say what this movie's even about.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, it's like trying to talk about so many different things, like obesity and like religion, honesty, truth, being an English teacher, cyberbullying, are people good? Are people assholes?
Yeah.
Homosexuality, absent fathers, like it's like bringing up all these things in a very surface level way. It doesn't dig deep into any of these subjects. It just like kind of like it gets bored of a certain concept or theme. It's like, well, let's talk about this, or maybe this is a hot button.
Maybe we could just get Brendan to stand up, and it would be really dramatic. Towards the beginning, when he like first just like stands up on his rock or his
walker,
and like they just like try to show the enormity of his body.
Oh yeah.
And like the way that they use the music is just like, yeah, they just like try to like make him even more monstrous.
Sounds like those fucking throat singers from Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
He's
like
so big.
Yeah, it's like the giant awakes.
His internal organs are 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music really brings in all the melodrama. That takes it to a whole nother level.
So I watched it again just now, right before we did this record, and I was kind of doing some stuff. So I realized there was an option to turn on the audio subtitles for people who are blind. So like, have you ever listened to a movie that way?
Yeah.
Where it describes everything in detail, like in between the dialogue.
Right.
Explain it as best as possible.
Wait, for the blind?
Yeah. So if like a person is experiencing a movie,
like a podcast,
there's an audio subtitles. So like in between, so they just detail the film. So the descriptions are hilarious because like in the description, it's just like a large man sits on a couch, or like when he's showering, it's like his massive droopy torso, and like
Oh my god, is it ever droopy though?
it is very droopy.
I was thinking this time he kind of looks like a deflated balloon. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if like
Yeah.
real fat people bodies actually look like this. I think it looks kind of weird and bad.
Yeah, and he kind of has this like Christmas tree shape to him.
Yeah.
It's like triangular somehow. Like it's like his head is like the little like star on top of the tree.
I mean, that's the thing. It was like, how could you not be fat phobic when the people who have to describe this movie to the blind, unfortunately, have the unpleasant task of describing his body, and the
Yeah.
nicest thing they could come up with is droopy.
yeah,
Like, that's the most palatable word they could find to describe this man's body, which
yeah.
is like, of course you're going for the wow gross out factor that you can't say you're not being fat. It's like, look at how he like I don't shower with my curtain ajar like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't use a curtain like that. Like just you could have easily shown the top half of his body, saved a lot of special effects money,
Yeah.
and it's been like
Yeah.
it's hard for him to shower, and been like, oh, we got that. Instead, you're like, oh, let's snippet of curtain, just
Yeah.
just enough for
And-
us to go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I
and-
gotta admit, I laughed out loud with the shower shot in the movie theater. Just like I don't know, it was just like so
You know what?
overdone. Like you've
So
already
that-
showed him taking off his shirt and walking around. Now we see him in the fucking shower.
and like it couldn't be more like the little cut scene from The Simpsons where Bart's like the super overweight guy and he's like, I'll wash
I'll wash
myself with a rag on his dick.
stick.
Like, it's literally his body looks the same and he's literally washing himself with a big dick with a sponge at the back. I'm like, are they doing this on purpose?
Yeah, I think
Well, I
Darren
mean-
is a big Simpsons fan. He's like, Simpsons fans are gonna love this.
Love
I gotta
this.
do it for my fans, for the Simpsons fans.
But then like in the essay, how like whenever he comes to the line like poor big animal, when they're like and they just like try to show his like giant body
Oh yeah,
whenever he says that line in the essay.
how
Ooh.
obsessed he is with the essay that's so on the nose that like almost like when he read it, he like manifested his whole personality around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, this movie's called The Whale, and it's about a fat guy. Got to talk about that.
Yeah, so let's just talk about it for 1 second because I mean it is comical, the title and the subject matter is just offensive. It's immediately that you hear is like, what's the movie The Whale about? It's like, oh, it's about a guy who's obese, and it's like they called it The Whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually so recently went to a doctor who's also a bariatric doctor who works with people who have obesity, and I was like, just curious, have you seen this movie The Whale? And he was like, no, what's it about? I'm like, it's about an obese guy. And he's like, and they called it The Whale? I'm like, yeah, I would really curious if you'd like what you would think about it, if it's offensive or whatever. And he's like, well, judging by the title, I would say yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's right. And he's a doctor, so there you go.
Yeah. And so Zach and I were talking earlier about Knock at the Cabin, and I also think that it's worth noting that M. Night Shyamalan and Darren Aronofsky both kind of have these like similarities a little bit, like in that they're like these auteur American filmmakers who made like one really big splash in the early part of their career, like Darren Aronofsky being Requiem for a Dream or Pi, and
Sure.
then like
Pie
you know,
over
so
Requiem.
he's gotten some accolades for Black Swan and The Wrestler, but
Yeah.
other than that, like all of his movies, like The Fountain, Mother, like Noah, like all those
A
movies.
lot of people like Mother. A lot of people like Mother. People like Mother.
a lot of people didn't either.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mother.
I haven't seen it either.
He seems a lot douchier than M. Night. M. Night seems more of a fun hang, if you ask me. I heard that Darren Aronofsky has like an episode with Anthony Bourdain on like Parts Unknown, and they like go to Madagascar, and he's like really douchey. I haven't seen it, but my friend was telling me about it.
Yeah, that sounds douchey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
can't imagine Anthony Bourdain like
not
putting up
seeing
with
through-
that for more than 10 seconds.
not seeing through this facade like really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a vegetarian, and like some like locals were like they're like slaughtering like a goat or something, and like he's like, I'm not gonna be a part of that. I'm gonna go over here and take pictures, and like just like not being respectful of the culture at all.
All right, well, let's not bash on the Aronofsky because I do enjoy I thought Pi was a fucking great film when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
Requiem for a Dream like totally rocked my world. I saw it when I was like 12 or 13 when my friends were first starting to experiment with drugs, and it like I was like, oh my God, we're all gonna die.
yeah.
We're all gonna become like hookers and like lose our arms and like
I don't know
die painful death. I was like, we're all fucked. And
I remember seeing Requiem and being like, this is really fast paced and cool, and I dig it. And then I watched it again, and I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Really? Did you watch it recently?
Yeah, recently. And I remember just every time I see it, I go, this is so like blown up and over the top. I don't know. There's something like that Darren does where it seems like surreal and kind of like puffed up and kind of overly dramatic. Like, I don't know, like a play would be, which is why this works.
Yeah, I'll see his movie once and I'll never want to see it again because they're all very like very serious, bleak movies. Usually character studies, and it's like, damn, that was bleak. I don't want to watch that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is no exception, but I managed to watch it again today, and I did not enjoy it, but
yeah. No, I mean, we should mention also that it is an adaptation of a play. I haven't seen the play, but
the play looks shitty too. Well, I just like saw like a picture of like a guy in a fat suit that looked really offensive.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's like, and yeah, in the play, but it does seem like, okay, if they had these actors on stage and there were incredible prosthetics that you could like, and these are actually, it's very little CGI. Like all the stuff that you see apparently is mostly makeup. And so I think Brendan Fraser was in the makeup chair for like 4 hours every single day. So all the stuff around his neck, like they were just trying to make it like as seamless as possible. So yeah, if they had the play with these actors and the prosthetics look believable or something, it could be a very interesting play to watch because I mean you're in one setting and I don't know, but
yeah, but those Snickers scenes would be tough, man. This guy's down 3-4 Snickers every play. He's got 3 shows a day. That's like 9 Snickers every day, dude.
Yeah,
he won't need the fat suit after long. Another,
but I mean, yeah, the feeding scenes are so insane. Just the way that he's like kind of issues towards the chicken bucket, and she brings it over, and the way he like rips the chicken like,
and then she's just gingerly resting on his arm.
Yeah, and the grease is just all over his.
Yeah, he's glistening. He's shining.
My favorite line from Liz is when she's like sitting down after bringing the 2 meatball subs with extra cheese. She takes them out of the bag. She puts down. She goes, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're a fucking nurse.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's like the only time she like actually reflects on
what she's been doing, where she goes
this
like,
entire movie.
Yeah, you gotta go see a doctor. No, give me a sandwich. All right, here's your sandwich. What am I doing? It's like,
yeah, I found her to be the most interesting character, and I like that actress a lot, Hong Chow. She was really fun in The Menu, which I saw recently, and she's in Inherent Vice, which is one of my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movies. And I think she does a good job in this movie, even though she's not a really well-written character. But I wanted more from her character because it's interesting that she's enabling him, but like there's like no digging into like why she's doing what she's doing. Like she seems like she doesn't want him to die. Like she wants what's best for him, but she's like constantly giving him horrible food, bringing him 2 meatball subs with extra cheese, even after
Picking up the meatball sub that's fallen on the ground that he just choked on. Falls on the ground, and she's like, "It's still good.
It's still good.
None of this is good. None of it's been good.
Yeah,
It's just
All
bad.
bad."
Bad nurse.
I just wanted more from her character to understand where she's coming from and why she's doing what she's doing. Does she want him to die? If she does want him to die, that could be interesting because like it is kind of a burden to take care of this guy. So I can see in the back of her mind, it's like, yeah, maybe I kind of want this guy to die because I'm sick of taking care of him. But they don't go into that, which could have been interesting, but they don't.
Well, my final, and I know we're jumping around a lot, but was that, you know, when the kid revealed that he actually wasn't a missionary and like wasn't like, actually, I'm not who I say I am. I stole $2,000 and I ran away. Again, everybody's pre-baked monologue. Like, do you want to know why I'm actually here? It's like, yeah, why the fuck are you here? And then like, but I kind of half expected her to not be a nurse after that. I was like, she's not really a nurse. He's not really a missionary. He's not an English teacher. Like, I thought it was like weird. Like, is this going to be like a bunch of these are like not misdirects, but just like, I will reveal my true intentions. Just like, no, she's just like a shitty nurse who's just slowly watching this guy die. And she knew he loved her brother and then like watched him slowly fall into, and then like, yeah, like you don't really find out anything that happens at the end of the movie either. Like, did she get the money? No, none of these questions are answered. It's like, okay.
Yeah, the missionary guy has the most like full character arc, and he's the one I give the least shit about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about him getting back together with his family and all that.
Yeah, which isn't even really an arc. It's just a boomerang. He just like, I'm leaving. He's like, no, you're coming back. Like, I'm coming back. And that's his arc, is that he left home and he talked to a fat guy for a little while and he came home, ran out of his $2,000.
And the fact that like everybody is inviting him in and like allowing him to stay, like immediately when he first walks in and the guy and they're just like, all right, come on in, you know, and then like when Ellie first sees him, she literally like physically pulls him in. She's like, come on in. It's like, why are you just, nobody does that. Nobody's like, you open the door as a stranger and they're like, come on in.
Nobody does any of the things they do in this fucking movie. No, all of it is inhuman and insane.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but yeah, just also just going back to the first scene, all right? Opens with him, you know, talk about the misdirects, right? Open. Hi, I'm an English teacher. No, my camera's not fixed. Hey, don't send a private message. Ha ha ha. Cuts to the whale. Cut to him jerking off. And so in my mind, when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, he's got his camera off so he can jerk off to the kids during class.
Yeah.
And like then I was like, oh no, he's watching full grown men have sex with each other.
Yeah, he's watching gay porn. And it's weird because like it sets this off like, oh, this is going to be a really horny character.
Yeah.
But really, he doesn't feel sexual at all the rest of the movie. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to like, it's just really just to make you feel like, oh, this is a disgusting man. We need to establish this right away. This guy's disgusting. And that's why we have to have a heart attack while jerking off the gay porn. That's the only way we can establish this right away.
We gotta let fat dying gay man, go. Fat dying gay, go.
We gotta let the audience know that this guy's a real piece of shit. And they do a good job of that, I guess.
Well, they don't, because they try to make him as endearing as possible beyond all of his like horrible vices. And he's always apologetic and like, but then of course he's been squirreling away money for years, which apparently like she wasn't aware of at all. Like he says he's an English teacher. It's like his whole identity.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, what do you mean you've been getting paid as an English teacher?
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like his ex-wife is like, yeah, you must be rich. You've been you have like one class online as an English teacher. Like you must have a ton load.
Which, by the way, can we talk about the wife's fucking voice? Like she's like some like, hey, go on. She like you know, like the whatever this is, you know, where you're like clutching your dress.
You're talking about Samantha Morton?
Yeah, and she's just like a jilted
Well,
country life. It's like
Yeah.
you go onto your horse. Ha, ha. She
Yeah.
sounds just like that 100%. And I'm like, are you in like Little House on the Prairie? Like, there's
Yeah.
it sounds so weird.
Yeah, she in
You just-
in the audio description, it was like wearing an ill-fitting cardigan. Like
Again,
yeah.
just
guess
mean
so.
to these people.
Yeah, again, another character who's just horrible to him. Immediately when he's like, I'm dying, Mary, she's like, fuck you.
Fuck you. Don't tell
Yeah.
me that shit.
Fucking piece of shit. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. I did something horrible. I'm so sorry. And
Well, he
like,
doesn't actually ever really apologize.
no,
like-
he does.
Now he goes like, "I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you" or whatever. Like he seems like he's pretty blasé about it and just wants to get to know her. Like, hey, come on, I'm about to die. Let's pal around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, hey, come on, give me a break. I'm one day away from my heart exploding in my chest. Why don't you be a daughter to me? Huh? And she's
Yeah.
like, and of course
I
she's
guess-
like,
I guess Charlie does suck. You're right.
yeah, she does suck. And
Yeah,
like,
Charlie
the,
sucks.
Sucks.
but the movie tries to make him and he's like, oh, you know, I don't know. And it's like, no, he did abandon his kids, and he's like not really acknowledging that. And the more like passive he is about it, again, the last week of his life, where he wants to do one thing right, he's not really putting his best foot forward. There's no joke.
I mean, the last scene of the movie is him putting a foot forward. Actually,
He's got bad feet. he's got that fat pouch on his back that's turned brown.
Yeah.
He's got mold in his flaps.
Oh, dude. By the way, you talk about his daughter and the really unnecessary character trait of being able to remember everything. Every time I heard that, I was like, remembering everything.
Yeah.
Just like
like-
an elephant, the whale of the Sahara.
Yes, that's literally one of her lines. She's like, I'm a smart person. I never forget anything. It's like nobody talks like that.
no, but it's a very specific thing to call back at the end when she gets the essay and she's like, I know this is my essay, and he's like, you remember everything.
No, but they do that. She says it 4 times. It's not even like the rule of threes. Like she says it like 3 or 4 times that she never forgets anything. And every time she says it, I say in my head, the elephant, the whale, the Sahara.
Yeah, look at that. An whale never forgets. Yeah, and she just like she couldn't be more awful. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, her first line of the movie is, does this mean I'm gonna get fat, when she
Yeah.
like shows up out of nowhere?
Yeah, and also he
that's how
says
she-
that he says that no, I was always big. I just letting it out of control. It's like that means that it's genetic. It's like that means
Yeah.
she's gonna get big. Everything pissed me off about every part of this movie. It's like
Yeah,
not-
it feels like it was written by someone that just like read it in one sitting and never did any edits. Like I was
None.
like, she just farted this screenplay
just want
out.
to
and,
write
like,
something real. Fuck.
and like and her Facebook is ridiculous too. Like it's got a picture of a dead dog on it for some reason. Her profile picture has 0 likes except one person wrote "dyke" as a comment. It's like the most overdone like representation of like a disturbed teenager's like
Yeah.
Facebook. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
yeah, and of course like another homophobic slur just to really drive home another,
Unnecessary thing.
unnecessary issue
Yeah.
that's going
Yeah,
on.
she says this notebook is retarded in her haiku.
Yeah, that's the haiku that she writes is, this apartment smells, this notebook is
notebook is
retarded.
retarded.
I hate everything or
I
something.
I hate everyone.
I hate everyone.
Yeah, then he has a laughing fit about that. Then he has like a mini heart attack. You could totally have a drinking game for how many times he like works himself into like a mini heart attack just like from laugh. It happens like 8 times throughout the movie. Just keeps happening.
The thing got me really bad was when the missionary boy, ooh, I like saying that. When the missionary boy goes, he's like, "You want to know why I'm here?" And he like puts his back flat up against the door and slides down. She goes, "Oh, I'll do the same thing." It's like, are you
Yeah.
fucking joking, bro? That is like, it's like the play is like the most
Yeah.
like student drama piece that's like just been
Mhm.
like overindulged adults, from the screenwriter to the director to the people in it. Like,
Yeah.
everything is
very
so,
community theater.
uh,
Like we don't look at each other the same way anymore, Jonathan. It's like, you've never made love to me, Mary. Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that stuff where it's just like,
You love my brother.
So Austin, do you like the movie more after a second watch, or the same, or it's worse?
I think my star rating didn't change at all. It was 2.5 stars with a
Feels
heart.
generous to me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, I just can't. I give it credit for invading my mind for the last month. Like I have not been able
Yeah.
to think about anything else. But I think like the things that stuck with me the most the first time I saw it were like how comically over exaggerated his eating style was. That was like 2 large pizzas, here's a giant bucket of chicken, a candy drawer, and then like the ultimate scene where he's like stacking pizza on top of each other and putting deli meat onto pizza
Yeah.
with salad dressing, and then the chip sandwich with jelly.
Yeah, it's literally
The ranch pour,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ranch for just
like
like
he's Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
yeah, and it's like
the
very
chip sandwich. You mentioned that.
yeah, the Dorito chip sandwich with grape jelly.
Yeah, that binge eating scene seemed like straight out of Heavyweights. If
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah,
Heavyweights,
actually,
like
holy
that
shit.
that montage where they're eating all the worst shit they've been hiding away. What is this? A deli meat?
And then like when he like he's reciting the dumb essay and then goes to his bed and like leans over and there's a giant 2-liter bottle of Diet Pepsi that he just like starts chugging in bed.
Well, there's
I
Hilarious.
forgot about that.
there's 2 liters of Diet Pepsi almost everywhere. Like there's a 2-liter like on the table next to him on the couch.
And he has that huge sippy cup that looks like it's like fucking so big.
It's
that
like
he-
it's the jumbo like 7-Eleven Slurpee cup.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's like every fat person has to be complete with their like 32. Like that's what we think of when we think fat persons.
But yeah, I definitely do think he could afford to go to the hospital every once in a while and still
Well-
provide for his kid with that nest egg. Just
Yeah.
go to the hospital, Charlie. Like, geez, you don't need to be such a cheapskate. You should
Yeah,
probably
bro.
throw in some more money to Liz, your nurse, too, because she's doing a lot of work. She's your only fucking friend. That's the shittiest thing he does, is just like he's lying to his closest friend, the only one that's been helping him.
To try to redeem himself in the eyes of his family, he's using this person to like,
Yeah.
save every penny. And
Yeah,
again, it's a redemption story, but it's already pre-baked in lies and there's no lesson here. There's no moral. There's no like. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's really nothing.
No.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
like
It's all fucked.
not all art has to be satisfying. It's like, well, yeah, but it has to be something. Like you're just saying so many things without saying anything. And like,
Yeah, I really don't know if it's trying to say if humanity is good or bad. I mean, obviously the big trailer line is like people are amazing, but it doesn't feel like people are
that's the
amazing when you watch
trailer
it.
line.
Yeah, that line's in the trailer for sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if the movie even believes that, or if the movie believes people are assholes, or
Yeah.
it's just
Not
like
clear.
a mishmash.
And are we to believe that Ellie broke the plate that was feeding the birds? Is that like why they revealed the broken plate at the end?
Yeah, I really
They
don't
kept,
give a
like,
shit
looking-
about, like, I don't know what's going on with the plate, but it's
No, I rewatched that and I realized I totally missed that. Where he's like, I gotta feed the birds my little apples.
huge
And,
chunks
like-
of apples that no bird could ever eat.
Yeah, and also
Fucking
they like
idiot.
crushed in his hand to like perfect cubes. By the way, he was like sprinkle. I was like, you cut those. And, like,
Are you trying to kill these birds with these huge
Trying to
ass
kill it-
cubes?
he's huge. I don't think birds eat apples. I think they eat bird seed. I could be wrong about that. Maybe apple seeds, Charlie. Charlie Appleseed. You little fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole plate thing is like just another dumb little distraction. Also, the fact that the 2016 election is always on the
Oh,
TV
yeah!
for no
I
fucking
totally
reason.
forgot about that.
It has nothing to do with anything.
You hear like the news report. It's like there's no way anybody could defeat Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a lock for the nomination.
It pops up literally multiple times throughout the movie. It's like, why this? I literally can't understand any connection to this movie. Has 50 themes that doesn't connect to any of them.
Oh, and by the way, gay marriage has been legal for a while now. It's like, wait,
Yeah,
there's nothing makes any like. There's no reason to say that except that
Yeah.
like, hey, remember the election? Remember this? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
or when Ellie lets the missionary in for the first time, she's like, oh, what, are you weirded out because my dad's gay and he has a daughter? And like, yeah, he was able to find his dick in that. Like, and we're just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you saying? And then, okay, again, the whole relationship between Ellie and the missionary guy, and then towards the end when she like gets him to smoke weed, and then she's like taking pictures of him that obviously she blackmails him with later on. But then she's like, if you don't smoke this weed, I'm gonna kill my dad.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, don't do
yeah.
that. And he was like, well, okay, then I'll tell the police that you raped me. And he's like,
Yeah.
what? And she's like, I'm kidding. It's
Yeah.
a joke.
It's a joke. Come here. What?
Like, this is like the most unchill stone. Like,
That's the most heinous thing to threaten somebody. It's like, okay, either I'm gonna kill my dad or I'm gonna accuse you of raping me.
And
Like,
he goes,
whoa.
all right, I get it. It's a big joke. It's inhuman that it was like right after that, he's like, you know what? I feel comfortable enough to do drugs with you. Like, by the way, I used to smoke. He was a huge problem, but now that you've made me feel comfortable by threatening your father's life, blaming it on me, and also accusing me of raping you, I better get high with you.
Oh, and the other thing, like how Liz, so there's the whole thing is the missionary comes from the New Life Church, that Liz was the sister of Charlie's partner. So he dies and they blame it on the New Life Church because he died doing missionary work and then he jumped off a bridge, or
yeah, he jumped off a bridge, and it sounded like he was like also like kind of like starving himself. Like,
Yeah.
Liz makes some
Oh,
line
yeah.
about
Is
like
that-
like how he wouldn't eat or something. So it's like
so then
a
there's
parallel.
the other eating disorder that they're throwing in there too. It's like,
No, he eats because he couldn't. He eats because he can't no more.
Oh,
He
yeah,
never
'cause-
did. And
I
now
get
he
it.
has to.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
but that's what I wanted to say is with the New Life Church, apparently they're like an apocalyptic church, and so I was really like, oh my god, the Knock at the Cabin parallels keep
they
coming.
they talk about some end times conversations,
Yeah,
but it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like,
no,
you think the world's gonna end and stuff like that. I don't
yeah. And Charlie's read every single thing that they've ever
Yeah.
written,
know.
every pamphlet, and then he's like, well, you should read the Bible, and he's like, yeah, I have, and he's like, you have? It's like, yes.
Every word up and down.
That's
right.
Is it that surprising that an English teacher has read the Bible at some point in his life?
Yeah, there's literally every single thing about this movie you can kind of pick apart. There's too much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, oh my gosh.
overall, I would say it's amazing.
Whale of a tale.
I just want to know that I've done one thing right in my
You
life.
fucking didn't. You made so many mistakes and continued to make mistakes all the way up until the very end. The thing that you thought you did right was finally making your daughter read the essay that you've been pining over for years instead of being with your daughter. And then you died in front of her, presumably. So leave her with that. I loved your essay, dead.
And
Yeah,
like,
he was like wants to traumatize her. He's like, no, don't. I
Just
don't want
that
the
much-
ambulance. I want you to
No, I'm
watch
gonna-
me die right now.
I'm I'm gonna lumber towards you
And
and
then
as
probably
close
crush
as
you.
possible, and then
Fall on
collapse
top of you.
on top of you.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
die.
how it should have ended. I would have liked the movie way more if it is short falling
Just
on
her
top of her. and she-
screaming for like 30
crushes
minutes,
her.
just waiting for the end. And they get there and they can't get him up. And it takes a really long time.
Like it's like a straight up like Family Guy fall where they just like are one frame they're standing and the second frame they're just down.
Just down. And
Yeah,
it's like
just-
you don't want to be mean because it's like, but this, they wear the armor of like this weird, they wear the armor of this downtrodden figure so that it's like they're beyond criticism in some respect. But it's like, no, it's like we're not bad people for making fun of this movie. This movie is insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really has no. I mean, like the fat suit part of it is just inherently funny. I mean, like even Darren Aronofsky talks about in some interviews there was just like we were really trying to get away from the trope of the clumps and fat bastard and stuff like that, but it's like
You made the fattest bastard of them all.
I mean, like in the end it kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like it.
You're still making like the bottom of the barrel fat jokes too, like that they are as well.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he's like intentionally shoehorning fat jokes in and like calling him fat and calling him disgusting and like calling out very specific parts of his ailments, like the sack on his back that turned brown and the mole in his flaps and all that stuff. I mean, it's like, and like, yeah, when again, like the very theatrical language of it when he does that, when he's like coming at him, he's like, "Tell me I'm disgusting," and he's like,
Yeah.
like this supposed to be this big cathartic moment, but it just seems so forced.
Yeah, that's one of the worst parts of the movie is just
He could have said anything and it would have been like the yellow stuff that comes out of my ears. Is that gross? Like, yeah, dude, we all know that's gross. We wish this wasn't happening. I'm sorry. I want you to get better. He goes, no. And like, or the ooze that comes out of every pore in my body. And just like, dude.
When I
Yeah,
shit and it's black.
When I shit and it goes in the toilet and it stinks, is that gross? Yeah.
But in the beginning when he's like, take me to the bathroom, I'm about to
explode. Well, I felt bad about that because I was like, oh man, it must be a whole thing in the bathroom. God damn it. You didn't.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, if they follow him into the toilet and just do like a big like
shit scene on a super tiny toilet.
Being like, oh.
Yeah.
They did everything but that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like they tried to negotiate the politics of like being like, we need to keep finding a way to get him food without him just eating in every scene. So we'll have the Gambino's characters like, by the way, you eat pizza every night. Just still worried about you. Sorry you can't make the door today.
And then at the end of the movie, the delivery man finally sees him and he just has a disgusted look and runs away. Even though like before that he was seeming like really empathetic and like concerned about him.
I'm really
And it's
worried
like,
about you. Oh, I didn't know you were a fucking fat piece of shit. You two
how big
extra large, clearly alone pizza eating man all by himself.
Big
You
surprise. The
sweet
guy that gets a
fat
fucking pizza
dude.
every night is fat. And you can't handle that. It's like
Look,
so
maybe
fucking
it's
stupid.
Gambino's man wrestling with the fact that he's delivering poison to people every day. Maybe he saw what he had done to this man. And I mean, that is the only aspect that's like maybe redeeming of that. But mostly it's like they didn't say that at all. They just said, ew. And then he just ran away. It wasn't like, this monster in my basement that I'm fucking creating. It was just like, oh, this is gross. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It wasn't like running from his demons. If it was supposed to be that, it was not illustrated like that.
And I love how like each time it's like clearly the same guy, and he's like, "Hello, hello, in there.
Hey, are you there?
Is everything okay?
You there? I love you."
He's like, "Yeah, the money, it's in the what do you call those things?
The mailbox. Like always, because again, I deliver pizzas here every day. All right. This is Dan the Gambino man.
I do say that I did find something relatable in the movie, and that was him choking on the meatball sub.
Of course, yeah.
Because me and my brother went to Chicago and we went to Rico Bene's.
Oh, right.
And I choked. It wasn't a meatball sub, it was their famous breaded steak sandwich, which is a huge fucking sandwich. And I think I got like 1 or 2 bites in and I started choking. And
Wow.
I was just like, I couldn't breathe. And I was like, I started smacking on the table. And then my brother's like, "Oh, are you choking?" And I was just like, "Yeah," nodding my head. And then he gave me the Heimlich, and thankfully it came out in one blap, just like one good push of the Heimlich, and then the chunk came out. But we just like started cracking up as soon as after
Really?
that.
Caleb,
That's what brothers are for. Would you ever do that for me, Drew?
Nope. I'd say you took my meatball. I want it back, but I don't want it back that bad. No, but did Caleb immediately scream and yell at you like, "What did you fucking idiot? You fucking fat! All you do is eat, and this is the one thing you do, and you don't know how to do it."
Anyways, here's the sandwich back. Try again.
Such an overblown reaction.
Crazy. And then again, just like, "What, are you gonna die because you're eating? Don't do that. Another extra meatball, cheesy cheese, more meatballs, more sub."
Yeah.
And again, the way that she's resting on his shoulder while he's just noshing on the chicken, God, that is insane. Like at the
I'll say that there's one line that, like what Drew, you were saying, like there are a few things you're like, okay, maybe that's something, is when he tells Ellie, like, you don't have to be mad at anybody else. Like you can be mad just at me. And I think that's maybe what they're trying to talk about in this movie, where it's like Ellie's, even though she seems really angry and cynical about everything, that like she's just mad at her dad, and like he's just trying to tell her, you don't have to be mad at the world, you can just be mad at me. But it's like,
then after he says that, she like starts laying into him and starts yelling at him about all of his shit, and then he like starts like, he's like so hurt by it. It's like, you literally just told her to do that.
Yeah.
But he's
so
like,
amazing.
I didn't want you to actually give me all that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's such a like, if the theory is correct that she was just trying to save the missionary guy through such weird means, like, I'm gonna figure out a way to blackmail you so that, like, and I'm
could have gone anyway. Could have gone
like,
anyway.
Why couldn't you just be like, hey, like, you should just go home, or, you know?
Yeah, it's so obvious that she had bad intentions in my mind. Like, took pictures of smoking weed and like recorded this confession of this thing that he feels deep shame about, and sent it off to the church. And then,
guys, it's all about honesty and truth is power, and power is reality if you manifest.
That's
one of the morals of this movie, like, which doesn't make any sense, but I know that's in there. Like, or it's like,
they bring that up a few times.
Write something honest. Fuck.
It's so ridiculous during that scene when the missionary is like saying like, "Hey, my life's great now because your daughter did this horrible thing. I don't know if she was trying to be nice or being horrible, but now my life's great. She sent it to the church, and the church sent it to my family, and my family loves me again."
And he's like,
the church that murdered everyone, by the way.
And then Charlie's like, she did that for you?
It's like she contacted the church, and she contacted the family.
He goes, wait a minute. She did what? Wait, hold on. She did, huh?
Again, contacted your parents? What?
It's weird though, because initially he says that she only contacted the church, and like the church contacted the parents. And then he's like, wait, she contacted the parents, and then he just like, he agrees that she did that as well, even though she didn't do that. Like he like changes his tune. Like I had to rewind it to make sure that he just, I don't know. It's just dumb. It's badly written.
Can I share a whale of a tale with y'all?
Yeah.
So right after I'm like nearing the end, I did it in like 3 breaks because I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, I mean, I didn't do it full stints, but I took like intermittent breaks, got right back into it, got to take my head out of water, dip it right back into the pool. But you know, I ordered a meatball sub promptly by like
Good.
the third act, the start of the
From
third
where?
act for me.
Where'd you
Order
get
a
the
sub.
meatball?
Huh?
Where'd you get the meatball?
I don't know. Someplace.
Capriati's?
Nah, it was someplace I'd never been before. Someplace I'd never seen. But I ordered
The
I just-
Garbinos,
yeah, I got the Gambino's
Gotcha.
special.
Gambino's meatball subs,
The extra sleazy Italian is what they called it.
the extra foiled up.
No, and literally, okay, so here's how the story goes. I order me a meatball sub, and I go downstairs thinking it's already going to be waiting for me, because I say leave it by the door, and they say enjoy your order. But the woman who had brought it, she still had it, and I didn't realize that. So I look and don't see, and then she comes walking into frame, and what she's got is my drink in one hand, and then under her armpit is my meatball sub. And I
Not in a
you know,
bag, like just loose.
not like a loose sub. Like, he's not
Was
getting
foiled
Aaron
up?
Arrow over
Was
herself.
it foiled up?
Animal.
Was it foiled up like in the movie?
But it wasn't in a bag.
Let me get to it. So I, and I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, this woman is trying to work. She's trying to have a good day. She brought me my food. I should be, not thinking anything right now. But my sub is like firmly pitted. Like, it's like pitted. And she knows it. And I know it. She wasn't expecting me to be at the door. She comes in, hey, and I'm like, hi. And she can't really, because I'm like, she's like in front of the door, but I have to open the door, and she has to get around. Now we have to negotiate space. And like, then she hands me the drink, and I'm like, thank you. And then she has to she has to rip the stitching or whatever, and she gets the box. She goes, here's your, and I thank you. And I go stare, they go, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. And the only thing, okay, so I get the sub, and it's like huge, and I'm unwrapping, and it's not folded up, but it's papered up, and it's papered up like a motherfucker. There's like at least like 12 pieces of fucking paper between me and the sub. So by the time I get to it, I think to myself, it's still good. And then I ate it and was like, we're all a bit of a whale. And then another thing I realized is just like, as much as I want to be like, I am grossed out of my, like, all the delivery and all the food and all the bullshit. Like, that is one thing that whale means. Like, I'm a bit, we're all a little bit whale,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely am not a skinny person.
I'm not skinny. I'm a thick boy, and I'm indulgent.
And that
Who am I
pizza
to
he
judge?
got looked really good. It's like pepperoni and sausage. I
come
was
on.
like, give me a slice of that,
Yeah, man
Brendan.
knows how to live.
He orders it right. I'm like, that's a good looking pie. I'm
I
right
would
there
love-
with you, Charlie.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Charlie. I would
I
love.
mean, I'm not gonna put ham on my pizza. I'm not gonna throw potato chips in my bread, but it's a good looking pie at first.
Oh man, when he gets into that scene when it's like, here's the midpoint of the play, and it's dark, and it's just like slamming
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah. Well, like, the first shot is him just tossing a pizza box with just like 20 pieces of end crust in it, and then just grabbing another one, stacking 2 slices on top of each other. I mean,
he's a penny pincher. He orders pizza every goddamn night. He's not going to eat the crust ever.
yeah,
That's ridiculous.
it'll be a grease fire in hell when he dies.
Yeah, when he burns.
She's a great fucking writer. That's a great line.
Just rationalizes every possible inch of her horrible behavior. Just the worst, like, possible parent. Like, I'm gonna parent from afar. I know that she hates my guts. I'm readily available. I need to turn my life around. I'm just gonna penny pinch and trick my friends into accumulating a huge sum of money that I'm gonna give to a fucking 13-year-old, as in she's in her worst mental possible state to receive $120,000. Don't even understand the logistics of transferring the money or what that involves, giving money to a kid. And I get that it's a story, but it's like, Jesus Christ, like, it doesn't make any sense. You're going to die right now after she's done with her fucking essay. What happens to the money, Charlie? Because it's going to go to her mom, because that's how that works. So you tricked your daughter, or you either knowingly tricked your daughter or you just didn't have any backup plan, and we're just like, maybe it'll just get to her. Who knows?
Yeah.
You gave her a nice fucked up week though before you died.
Yeah.
Nice traumatizing week hanging out with her.
see her father and her fucking, caraway.
Why would I mean? Why?
her.
Like he did work on an essay with her, but he submitted the 8th grade one. Why? Like just so that she could be like, "What the fuck," and then read it to him. Like,
Yeah, again, it's like all like this weird twisted fantasy of his where he's just like, I'm just gonna get you to read it.
yeah.
Read it for me. And then
And I was gonna say like, and he's so creepy. He's like, maybe you want to write a little bit more in your notebook. Like he's just like so creepy about
You're gonna
it.
write just for me, my own private little scribblings.
Yeah, another annoying thing is that like when she comes over and it's like, want to write in your notebook? And then she actually goes and she actually starts writing in her notebook, and then he immediately starts like bringing up some other shit. Like, just let her write. She's actually finally doing the thing you've been begging her to do. She's actually writing in her notebook. And he's like, why do you hate everything? It's like, leave her the fuck alone. She's actually writing in the notebook. Like, it's like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, it's very complicated. It's bloated. I'll say it's a bloated film. It's got
these cheap jokes is what we were trying to get away from, man. Again.
The other thing I want to say was like when he's like, I can help you write these essays, and she's like, what? And he's like, I'm an English teacher, and she's like, no, you're not. And he's like, holds up his laptop, and it's a login, Oakland University or whatever, like Oakland College login. And he's like, look, and she's like, oh. You really are a teacher.
That's the directory for Open Community College students and abroad. That's the teacher's portal. That's the teacher's portal. You are a teacher.
Damn.
And why is that so unbelievable to be like?
Yeah, right. English teacher, you fat guy.
Oh yeah, can we also talk about the reveal at the end where he reveals himself to his class at the end and how he
that was fucking amazing.
He pulls out a second camera. He doesn't just turn on the camera on his computer. He's like, no, I got to get a little separate.
No, he's got a shitty old
light.
Dell that doesn't have a camera built in. So yeah, he like pulls out the USB.
Okay. I missed that part.
Well, I mean,
it was 2016. It was a different time.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like he pans down his whole body and everything.
Yeah.
Like, look, you can see, like, even my legs are fat too.
Yeah.
He's like, it
doesn't stop here.
Yeah, it's like not just my face; it's the whole body.
Yeah, and then what does he say? He says like class out of session, and then he
throws the fucking laptop.
Just throws it
at a ridiculous dramatic move for no goddamn reason.
And then Liz sees it and goes, "You're definitely committing suicide, aren't you?"
Yeah, and it's funny because he's also like, I'm getting replaced for like the unhinged like message he wrote while he was on his insane little binge. But I feel like he would not even get that last class. He would just be like, "You're done."
Yeah,
like they're not gonna let him like meet with his class again. Like they would just pull him off. So that was like another like non-believable thing. Oh yeah, I want to read what he wrote to his class. He writes, "Dear fellow journeyman, one last lesson. Fuck these ridiculous essays. Fuck the readings in all caps. And I'll just write me something honest, all caps."
Right. Is this after he has his food bender? Like right after that?
Yeah, this is after he's like eating all the food and stuff, and yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
well,
just
it's kind of in the same scene. He like eats a bunch of food, and then he's like, "Now I'm going to the computer and doing this."
Yeah.
This is the real me.
His daughter's such like a dom. She's just like, shut up and stand up and walk at me. Shut up. Like,
yeah.
Like,
she like takes the walker away. He's like,
yeah,
get over here. Don't use that.
And then so the big ending is him finally lumbering towards her and then lifting off like Poochie. Like,
yeah,
like
and he makes this sound when he
have to go now. My planet needs me.
Yeah. No, my first. You've seen Powder, right?
Yeah.
I thought Fat Powder. Because like when the flash of light, it's like this bald fat. I just pictured him as Fat Powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like some like trying to be like an A24 movie. It's like, oh, it's got to have some levitating at the end.
Yeah.
A24 movies do, right? We got to
Like,
have
is
aspect ratio. We have to have a 4:3 aspect
Yeah.
ratio. That's what the cool A24 movies are doing.
Oh my God. It's just so weird. And again, just the pre-baked monologues of every individual, just the, and she's like, do you know what really happened to his lover, who's my brother, who's your best friend, who's my grandfather? Like,
Your student,
my I thought
partner, your boyfriend.
Yeah, when all these weird reveals started coming out, I thought that everybody was just going to be related by the end of it, and like they all had amnesia. Like it was like just the weirdest like choices. None of it made any sense.
Well, that ties everything back to the theme of the podcast because we're all related.
Oh,
Well, yeah, this is it's a little bit of a family movie. It's got the mother, the mother and the daughter and
dysfunctional family. Okay, Drew, give us your final thoughts on The Whale. And yeah, score 1 to 5. Five fins or
five
meatball subs. Five meatballs.
I'll give it
brown patches on your back.
I'll give it 1 big blowhole. How about that? Big old goose egg in my blowhole. I don't. All right, The Whale. The Whale was overhyped, and it was unfortunate because it could have just been in like a weird indie movie that somebody discovered and went like, "Holy shit, this is insane!" But instead, I had to be like, "We have to go see this fucking movie," and it was insane. Like it was supposed to be. It's great, and it just felt really indulgent and artsy where it shouldn't be. But at least it's not another action movie, and there are some takeaways that I got from it there, but mostly just all over the place themes, layers of things, characters that just seemed super play and just like a student play. I don't know. It just weird and awful and great that it's so bad. Two blowholes
out of 5.
I loved this movie. I want 5. The more I talk about it, the more I'm so happy this movie is.
Yeah. Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I think really this is really just a bad script, and it's funny to make fun of how dumb it is, but there is no movie like this, really, which I got to give it some points for that. It's kind of a unique movie. And I don't think the acting is necessarily bad. I think actually Brendan Fraser does a good job, given what he's given. I don't think he does a bad job. I don't think Hong Chow, who plays Liz, does a bad job. I think maybe Sadie Sink is maybe bad. I don't know, but I think her character is just written. I don't know. There's like no way to like. I don't know. She does a good job of being awful, but
yeah,
I would have liked to see some redeeming factors about her.
Yeah,
the most redeeming thing she does is she makes him a turkey sandwich, and it's like, I'm not going to put mayo on it because you don't need mayo.
Oh yeah, doesn't she say she's going to be extra small?
Yeah,
yeah. I'll just be turkey.
But
that's she ends up putting.
But that's the sandwich
that
she puts the Ambien in. Yeah.
And it's like, it seems like you'd really notice the Ambien in a just turkey sandwich. Like you would need the mayo to hide the Ambien. So it's weird that she says, I'm not going to put mayo in it, but I am going to put Ambien in it.
Again, like themes, it's like, okay, so she does care, or she's pretending to care, just to slip the guy who will like devour anything an Ambien, a small white pill, like.
Yeah, but she at least has the decency to think like, I should be giving this guy 2 meatball subs with extra cheese.
Yeah,
we should be giving this guy turkey sandwiches with no mayo.
And she doesn't have any medical training whatsoever, so that's pretty impressive that she came to that conclusion. That she should stop.
Yeah, she's actually better at taking care of him than his own nurse.
Yeah. You got to go to a nurse. Here's a nerd's rope. Wrap this around your neck.
But yeah, this is a pretty joyless movie, except for getting like the kind of cynical joy out of watching the binge eating scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it 1.5 meatball subs out of 5.
Yeah.
Half a meatball.
Yeah.
Like the half that's he choked, he blapped out when he got high
You
blicked.
choked, Frasier. You choked.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think that it was very hyped up. I think that, the 10-minute standing ovation that Brendan Fraser got, and everybody saying that he was going to win the Oscar before anybody even saw the movie. They just saw that it was a sad movie about an obese man, and nobody's seen anything like that, and so it's got to be Oscar worthy. And yeah, I think that Brendan does an okay job, but I don't think that it's anything like spectacular. I don't think that he did something that, any other actor committed to that role could have done.
James Gandolfini would have been a good.
Gandolfini could have been great. Yeah, I just thought that it's comical how people talk about it as this deeply emotional thing where there's no way you're going to be able to walk away from it without sobbing. And, it is an emotional movie, but it's so overwritten and just makes you feel more uncomfortable than anything. Like, you're just kind of like, why are these people abusing him verbally the entire movie? And like, he's very sick. He's going to die. Like, why do they keep like he keeps saying he's gonna die, and everyone's like, fuck you.
Fuck you. Go to the hospital. I can't.
Yeah, they treat him like a toddler. He acts like a toddler. He's like a big fat baby.
Everything's amazing.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's an English teacher, and he like literally just the only adjective he knows is amazing. Amazing. Well, yeah, I give this movie 2 pieces of pizza stacked on top of each other.
That's 4 pieces.
Oh, you're taking away a half. It's going from 2.5 to 2.
Well, a half will be the deli ham on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 pieces of pizza and a sliced deli ham.
With a squirt of salad dressing. With a little ranch on top.
A squirt.
Yeah. It's like the whole half the bottle.
He goes down, up, down with that thing.
Yeah, he really does. Does the cocktail like pour.
I would like to see a pizza bar where he's running the bar and just people going nuts for the amount of ranch that he pours on slaves.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that it was important that we talk about this movie, because every other podcast or review, like anytime somebody's interviewing Brendan Fraser, first of all,
what do you mean? Brendan Fraser? He's recording. The man. When we were shooting, Darren,
Drew, hold on.
Drew, hold on. Drew.
Stop.
Drew, stop it, Drew.
No, all of Brendan Fraser's interviews or podcast appearances, he talks at the low. Elvis, everything that he says is about this. He's not enunciating anything, and everything is about this volume. And then it's like Mark Maron's like, so what'd you think? Yeah.
Was that's great, Brendan. That's great. Thanks for making the time coming down. Zoo Boys. Whatever. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But just the fact that like nobody really feels comfortable just saying this movie isn't good because it's like such a sensitive issue, and like, fat shaming is such a hot button issue, and it's like, whatever. Yeah, make a movie about somebody who has an eating disorder, but telling it in this way, you're not going to get any leeway from this podcast. Okay, we are not going to kowtow to the woke mafia.
Christ, Austin.
Yeah, I think it's about time we beach this whale.
Yeah. Well, Drew, you're my brother. I love you.
Drew, you're my cousin.
I love you, my cousin.
But you don't love him.
I love him.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I love you too, Zach. And we're all family here. Thanks, Drew, for coming on and talking about The Whale with us. Sorry we made you watch it, and sorry we wouldn't shut up about it for the last 3 weeks, but I think you know why now.
It ruined.
Should we talk about how after we saw Infinity Pool, we were like out of the pool and into the way?
Come on, everybody!
Yeah, we were trying to get the whole audience to go over and watch The Whale with us.
We're at the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Infinity Pool got out at like 9:15, and there was a 9:30 whale.
What? We can catch the whale? Double feature pool and the whale? Out of the pool?
Out of the pool and into the whale.
Come on, everybody!
One of our many inside jokes. Just wanted to let you in on that.
Yeah.
Gotta let you in on that.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Hope you enjoyed this re-release of The Whale.
Take a load off, eat some pizza, turn on the news, watch some old 2016 news clips.
Yeah, and if you're at a barbecue, just go ahead, throw some potato chips in your sandwich. Do it for Brendan.
What would be the ultimate whale barbecue feast? Two large pizzas,
lots of ranch,
lots of grape jelly, liters of soda,
meatball subs,
of course.
Just a lot of meatballs around in all form factors.
Yeah. So feel free to eat along with this film and listen along, eat along, whale watching. And as we speak, maybe I'm seeing a whale right now in real life. Yeah, thanks for listening again. If you listened to it already, if you haven't listened to it already, I'm glad we did this so that it brought it back to your attention. We rose it, it kind of came out the sea and just like did a little blowhole.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't make you think less of us as people and podcasters for listening to that, but it's a big part of our roots as cousins,
podcasters.
We had to share it again. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want to rate and review the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, that would be great. Also, we're on social media at Film with Family. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
And if you would like to send us an email or a take two, get us at Gmail on filmwithfamilypodcast@gmail.com.
We love the movies.
And we love our family.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Favorite whale scene, go.
My favorite whale scene is when he throws the laptop. That's probably not my favorite, but they have a clip of that in the bonus feature of him talking to his class and then throwing the laptop, and it was really funny in that little clip, and it's gave me new appreciation for that moment.
The fisheye lens of him, when he pulls it really close to his face.
These assignments don't matter. This course doesn't matter. College doesn't matter. These amazing, honest things that you wrote, they matter.
My favorite aspect of this movie is the 21-foot giant overtone flute.
Yeah.